Cancer. What's up, y'all? How you doing? Time to take a little look and see what's going on with y'all for the third week of June. And I didn't even get to say anything before this jumped out. Who knows if that needs to be a part of the message. I'm going to go ahead and stick it back in the deck. Keep an eye on that card just in case it comes back out. Anyway, though, yeah, June week 3 weekly check-in. Remember, the weekly check-ins are just a short, sweet, quick, general, energetic overview. I'm not diving into all the different situations and scenarios like I do in the monthly, the bonus, the extended, and the mid-month, and all that stuff. Okay, so for those of you who are in need of a personal reading, you can find all the information on how to go about doing that in the description of this video. All right? Okay, I ain't got nothing else to babble about, man. You know what, though? I do want to get some good vibes in the air. Probably should have done that before I came live. Got me some. This is like one of my favorite incense. India Temple. Sorry, I know YouTube's doing this stupid ass mirror image shit now, just like Instagram. But yeah, it says India Temple. You may not be able to read it. But yeah, this is one of my favorite incense, dude. You ever wondering what it smells like here in my home studio? Good chance it smells like this stuff. You know what? Let me just say something real quick. This drives me nuts. Why is a mirror image video even a fucking option? Why is that even an option? Who the fuck was sitting around watching a video one day and said, man, this video is so cool, but it's just missing one thing. You know what would make this video so much better? If it was ass fucking backwards. That's what would make it better. Everything needs to be ass backwards. That's what's going to make this video complete. Why did they start doing that? That's so stupid. Anyway, okay, rant over. All right, let's see what's going on with your situation. What can we tell Cancer about their situation, universe? Boom, 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 boom. What can we tell Cancer about the situation they're dealing with? I'd like to see if I can get a little bit of the person you're dealing with too, but we'll dig into their energy in the next spread. So let's see. What can we tell Cancer about their situation? 2 more shuffles, 2 more. Boom. Ooh, 5 of Cups reversed. All right. Well, first of all, looks like a codependency connection to me. But I'm not going to dig up this can of worms unless this card comes out again. I don't feel like talking about it. I know my OG followers don't feel like hearing about it. Trust me, I'm not in the mood for this tonight either. But if my guides really want me to talk about this, they'll bring this card out again. Please don't. I don't feel like talking about that tonight. But what's yelling at me the loudest is this. So the 2 and a 3 of Wands, that definitely indicates a decision needing to be made and waiting on something. So whatever is being waited on, whatever decision needs to be made, I'm not seeing any kind of forward movement happening. This is telling me that there's some red flags that you're missing too. Now, I don't know if you're intentionally ignoring the red flags or if they're just not hitting your radar. With the 8 of Swords, if we want to talk about the textbook definition of the 8 of Swords, technically In this card, this lady, regardless of how it looks, she's actually not bound against her will. I know it kind of looks like it, but she's not. She's very loosely bound, and she could easily escape from that binding and that blindfold. But she did it to herself. She bound herself. She put that blindfold on herself, and she bound herself. You know why? Because the swords around her represent truths and facts around her that she doesn't want to see. She doesn't want to look at. So that's the textbook definition, but, you know, depending on the situation, it doesn't have to be that. But regardless, it still is kind of telling me that there's some truths, some facts, and some red flags that, for whatever reason, you're not seeing. So some of you have been on and off with this person. I mean, this has repeat cycle written all over it. Either you have been on and off, or you will be if you continue to play this game. One of the two. Some of you dealing with a Taurus. I also have Leo, Libra, Aries. Could be anybody. Those are just energies. All right. Well, let's see this person's truest, deepest feelings, energies, and intentions. Person Cancer's dealing with. What's their truest, deepest feelings, energies, and intentions? Eight of Wands. Ooh, for some of you, they're giving you the silent treatment. There's that repeat cycle card again. So I think they want to talk to you. For those of you dealing with somebody you're not in communication with, it feels like they want to talk to you, but they're giving you the silent treatment. That's what, look, we got the Knight of Swords and the Four of Cups. Knight of Swords and Four of Cups. That's somebody basically trying to manipulate the situation. Again, it would depend on if you're in communication or not. I try really hard to throw a blanket over as many different situations as I can. That's hard to do. Honestly, this is starting to feel like a situation that, for most of you, is there's either poor communication or no communication. If you're dealing with a past person, though, I do think this person wants to reconcile with you, but they don't want to do anything different. You know, this is a good old classic case of it'll work if you do it my way. Good old classic case. It'll work if you do it my way. I'm not going to change nothing. I'm not going to fix nothing. I don't need to. I'm not the one who did this. I'm not the one who did that. You're the one that's always doing this. You're the one that's always doing that. You're the one who won't stop doing this. You're the one who needs to start doing that. You do it my way. And I don't care what part you play in the situation. That ain't gonna work. That ain't gonna work. Even if you are the primary antagonist, that still ain't gonna work. Still ain't gonna work. So, for those of you dealing with somebody that had some sort of addiction issue, if you're curious, no, they have not gotten clean. I know that's not all of you, but I know it's some of you. And this person is holding on to lots of anger and negativity from the past. All right, well, not seeing anything there indicating true love, if I'm looking for their feelings and intentions. Let's just grab the advice on this, dude. What's the advice for Cancer? What's the advice Boom, 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 boom. Ooh, 4 of Cups reverse. Don't play that silent treatment shit. Don't play that game. Oh, you want to play the silent game? Okay. All right. Let's be silent then. Let's do it then. If you're going to play that game, play it that way. You want to play the silent treatment game? 2 can play that game in. But see, here's the thing. I wouldn't put my life on hold for this person. I'm going to tell you straight up what this is telling me. This isn't Rich Lopp's advice. This is what the cards are saying. Time to walk the hell away from this and be done. Dun 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 dun. It's time for a fresh new start. Explore other options. Keep your options open. However, don't attach yourself to just anybody. Keep your options open. And I do feel like there is a new open door of opportunity waiting for you out there. That's not me twisting the advice. That's not me bending it. That's not me putting in my 2 cents. That's straight up what came through. If you're new to my channel or new to my style, I read what comes through. Period. Okay? I don't sugarcoat shit. I don't twist shit. I don't bend shit. People get mad at me all the fucking time. I don't care. I read what comes through. However, I do try to bend the advice if I can. You know, depending on what it is, depending on the situation, the circumstance, I like to try to see if I can send you on your way with something you can think about or something that you can apply to the situation to maybe give you a little bit more leverage if it's possible. But every once in a blue-green moon, the universe shoves me into a corner and ties my hands so I can't bend the advice. And that's what I got here. I ain't got no, that's a very direct message. So, all right. Time to shift gears. Let's see if there's anything new coming in for the singles. Anything new coming in for the single Cancerians? Anything new coming in? I'm not feeling this deck. Hang on. Ho-de-do, yo, ho-de-do, yo, ho-de-do, yo, hold the phone. Does this one want to cooperate? All right. Do. Anything new coming in for the singles? Actually, honestly, I feel like you have a couple of different options available to you. Yeah, some of you may be deciding to take a break. Yeah, I'm seeing new communication coming in. Yep, I'm seeing you communicating with somebody, and I'm seeing a couple of different potential options. But let me try to generalize this. Well, I might have to split y'all up in groups. I don't know. Some of y'all are just taking a fucking break. Straight up. I don't know how many of you this is, because this is kind of split down the middle here. Some of y'all are just being like, fuck dating, fuck love. I'm going to do me for a little bit. Everybody leave me alone. I don't have the energy for this. I don't have the emotional bandwidth for this. Just leave me the fuck alone. Okay? And, hey, I don't know who needs to hear this, but there ain't nothing fucking wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Do you know how many people come to me and they'll ask me, should I go out and look for a relationship? I am so happy by myself, but my friends and family won't quit pressuring me into trying to find someone. You better tell them they can fuck all the way off. Don't let nobody tell you how to live your goddamn life. If you happy, and somebody got a problem with it, they can fuck all the way off. All the way off. Don't know who needed to hear that. But others of you, like I said, I'm kind of feeling like there's a couple of different options. But the problem here is communication's a little bit funky, a little bit wonky. So I do kind of feel like there is one specific person that's really interested, but could be an Aries for some of you. I also have Leo and Scorpio here. But regardless of whether you're taking a break or not, you're still taking things slow. So I'm not seeing you jump head first willy-nilly into anything with anyone right now. But there is communication coming in here. So, okay. Yeah, you're holding back, regaining your strength, regaining your composure, right? Letting the emotional waters settle. That's good, man. That's good. Good dealio. That's a good way to brace for us going into Cancer season. That's awesome, dude. Sweet. Okay. Then, well, I guess let's just grab some advice then. That pretty much covered it all right there. That pretty much covered it all. Let's get some advice. What's the advice for Cancer for the third week of June, universe? Boom. Hey, man. Look, hang with people that you know have your best interest at heart. Okay? Friends, family, people that you don't have to question their motives. You don't have to question their intentions. You know, some of y'all just need to take some time for friends and family right now. I don't know who needs to hear that. It's kind of a weird message to come through, but hang on. Focus on your money. Yeah, and like I said, explore your options, but don't be so quick to attach yourself to anyone right now. So, metaphorically speaking, leave the door hanging open. Okay? If somebody wants in, well, then they just gonna have to come knock. If somebody knocks, then we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Okay? If you ain't feeling it, then don't do it. If something feels funny, don't do it. If you just want to be left the hell alone, that's fine. Ain't nothing wrong with that. You want to know one of the main reasons why that's so important? It all goes back to energy, frequency, and vibration. The primary law of the universe is the law of vibration. The secondary law of the universe is the law of attraction. This means you're only able to attract according to the frequency in which you vibrate. So if I am vibrating at a frequency of brokenness, depression, sadness, loneliness, emptiness, that doesn't mean that I'm a bad person. That doesn't mean I've done something wrong. That doesn't make me a stupid person. That's just my frequency. However, I am now a magnet, a fucking magnet to people, situations, scenarios, relationships, friendships that harmoniously resonate with brokenness, sadness, loneliness, emptiness, depression. Need I go on? That's why it's very important to schedule yourself alone time. I'm not saying just go be alone. I'm not saying go cut everybody out of your life. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying there's a time and a place for everything. You ever met that person who has never spent one fucking day alone in their entire adult life? You ever met that person? You ever met that person? They don't know who the fuck they are. Even when you're with your divine life partner, you still want to schedule yourself some alone time. Let me tell you something. I've been with my divine life partner for 6 years this year. July 9th, Cancer season, was the day we met, and 3 years after that, we got married on the same day. So we've been living in the same house, running a business around each other 24/7 for 6 years straight. We got to have our alone time. I schedule most of mine in the morning. I wake up super duper early, and I go hang out right there. This is my little man cave, and I just chill for 2, 3, 4 hours all by myself. No noise, nobody talking to me, nobody asking me questions, just me and my space for anywhere from 2 to 4 hours every morning. You gotta do that, dude. You got to. And if anybody in your life has a problem with that, they don't need to be in your life. That's so important, dude. Don't care who you are. Don't care what your sign is. Don't care what you got going on in your life. Whether you're in a relationship with your divine life partner or you're just coming out of a relationship, broken and at rock bottom, doesn't matter. Alone time is important. There's a time and a place for everything, okay? All right, y'all. I feel like those were the messages that my Cancerian family needed to hear, so I am going to go ahead and end this video here. Thanks again for tuning in and playing along. Don't forget, the information for personal readings is right down there in the description, all right? I'm out of here now, y'all. I will see you sometime between now and the rest of all eternity. Stay blessed.